Okay, hello. Hello, Andrew.
Hello, Dylan.
Let me
How
introduce
are you?
myself. My name is Dilmar Fintan from Universitas Ciputra, IBMIC, batch 24. Today I want to interview. Oh, wait, before all of that, can I record this meeting?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
Yes, you may.
I want to ask about the company because I know your company include with international business, okay?
Okay.
Okay, first question. Can you tell me your current position and your contribution to the company?
My current position is Vice Manager for PT Bali Wisata Sukses. The we are our companies is doing business in hospitality sector. We are mainly travel agent for receiving tourists from China mainly. And my contribution to the company is mainly I do most of it, like not most of it, but like general affair, like uh, calculating the price of the cost of the product, and signing the contract with the client, maintaining the relationship.
Okay.
That's all.
Question number two. Could you tell me how the company runs the business and the protocol step by step from customer to company?
Uh, Step by step. Okay. First of all, we are mainly doing B2B business, like
Hmm.
business to business. We are not directly communicating with the customers. Okay. So our business is mainly communicating with the local travel agency at China. So for example, like there is a one travel agency in China that promotes our product. For example, like go to Bali 5 days 4 night. They are the one that they are the one that receiving the customers. They are the one that's communicating with the customers. We are mainly communicating with the travel agent. So, for example, if they want to create a package, we can uh, calculate it and quote quote the price for that package. So we are not like directly uh, managing the customers, but when they are arriving at Bali, we are
Mm-hmm.
the ones that uh, arranging the customers. So we are the ones that, what can I say, like that take care of the customers, but we are not
Mm-hmm.
directly first contact with them.
So that means like there is a middleman between you and the customer,
Yeah,
your
yeah,
company and
yeah,
customer.
yeah.
So like
So
you made package and you ask them to promote the package to the customer, right?
yeah, exactly. So we mainly mix the package in Bali, for example, like 5 days 4 night, and we
Mhm.
will tell it to our partner at China, the local travel agency at there. And from there, the local travel agency will promote our packages on their country or their region.
Okay.
And when they are getting the customers, they will give it to us to handle it on Bali. The inbound one, the inbound in Bali we are handling it, but the outside affairs like the
There's no sound. Is it lagging?
hello.
Okay, okay.
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 Um,
So your company mainly focus on China only, or there is another country that you target?
no, we are mostly handling
Mm-hmm.
Chinese and China country, but we are handling Taiwan, Malaysia, and Singapore. But mainly we are focusing on China.
Oh, that means your company only focus on Asia. There's no like
For
Europe
now, yeah,
or anything? No?
yeah. For now, we are mostly managing the Asian part because we have some business
Mm,
partner in China too. So we are mostly handling them.
okay, so let's continue to question number three. Does a
Okay.
difference in currency affect your company in such a big impact or small impact? And if it's impacting the company, can you explain?
If I say it's not impacting, it's a lie. Uh, it is impacting. Like the difference in the currency is the most impacting. For example, when I quote the price for this
Mm-hmm.
package, I will count it in Indonesian rupiah first. For example, 1 million rupiah. Okay. When we have to convert it to RMB or renminbi, we have to convert it with what what is the rate today. But we cannot
Mm-hmm.
every day change the rate, right? So there is a slight difference rate when we are quote the price. Mainly we are using 2,150
Mm-hmm.
RMB, yeah, RMB to Indonesian rupiah. So there is a slight different on the rate. It's not affecting a lot, but when the RMB price is fluctuating a lot,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we lose, sometimes we win on the difference in the small gap, in the small spread,
Okay.
mainly on the quotation price when we are like when we are quote the price in USD or RMB. Sometimes there will be a difference in the small changes, like 1,100 XXX. The XXX is the
Mhm.
sometimes it's not, we cannot exactly quote the price to the customers.
Okay, so that means your that's a factor that your company cannot control, right?
Yeah, yeah. Especially in these hard times, like when the
Mm-hmm.
US dollar is rising so high.
So that means when COVID hits, how your company face that challenge.
COVID, okay, that's an interesting case.
Mm-hmm.
On COVID, we mainly keep it conservative. Like we are not receiving a lot of, because we cannot receive a lot of customers, right? We are mainly
Mm-hmm.
just like stay afloat for the operation only. We cannot take a lot of workers under us. Like we cannot employ a lot of employees, and we have to lay off a lot of our loyal employees too. That's kind of that's the hard part on the COVID part.
Okay. Next to question number five. Can you? Eh, I mean question number four. What are the most challenging factor for the company to maintain the business in another country and the strategy to overcome them?
The most challenging,
Mm.
the most challenging for me is the difference in culture,
Mm.
because our Indonesian culture and the Chinese culture is not exactly the same, and we have like if we are cooperating with the local businesses, right? You can visit the company whenever you like, but when you are cooperating with outside of your country, for example, like us cooperating with the Chinese companies, right? It's kind of hard to visit the companies whenever you like. For example, if I want to visit the company next week, I cannot do that
Mm.
because I have to make visa and waste a lot of time to go there, fly a plane like for around 5-6 hours and so on. It's wasting a lot of time. So it's not easy to uh, visit the company so we can like strengthen the bonds.
Mm. So the government
It's
quietly strict about in and out, right? So
yeah,
like
yeah, that's one of the problem. Like the visa is it's kind of hard because we have to always make the visa, and the hard part is because our companies is far apart, right?
Mm,
It's kind of hard to meet every day. Like when we are just like in Bali, for example, like w- we have business partner in Bali, for example, we just can meet them, uh, call them, hey, can we meet up or something, or do you wanna drink coffee or something? It's much easier, to get along and maintain the business relationship. But when we have the business partner overseas, it's kind of hard to maintaining that relationship.
okay.
Most challenging is maintaining the relationship with the business partner.
Okay. As you mentioned the difference of culture, I want to ask about how do you like strengthen the bond with Chinese people? Like what is their culture to get you contact with them about business?
For the Chinese
Mm.
companies, usually they are like to drink a lot of alcohol, right?
Yeah.
So we have to like learn their customs and their rules.
Hmm.
That's the hard part because sometimes the south part and the north part, it's not the same.
Different.
They have, yeah, they have different culture, different habits. It's not like it's not the same like Indonesia. So it's the hard part is you have to learn it first, and then
Hmm.
you apply it by step to make them comfortable with us.
Okay. Next to question number 5. Can you share an example of a major success or failure your company experienced in a foreign market and what lesson you were learned from it? Like, I mean, like the the best decision you make.
The major success, the
Mm.
major success is when we are one of the early local travel agency that open when COVID opens.
Hmm.
Like when the gate to Bali opens, we are one of the few local travel agency that receive Chinese customers. So that is the most for this years. I think that is the most important part because we are the
Hmm.
one of the few that start to receiving the customers. So our name is spread throughout them. Like for example, when the others local travel agencies still not open, they they cannot give the customers to
Hmm.
anyone, right?
Yeah.
Only us. They have to give it to us. So that is one of the reason that why that is why our name is spread amongst
Mm.
the Chinese travel agencies, because we are the first of few lah, not the first lah,
Mm.
few local travel agency that open when COVID open. So they have to give the customers to us. If not, who will receive their customers? Only
Mm.
us. Only
Okay.
us can receive. So that is the most, um, I think, the best decision to open uh, super early on COVID, or when the COVID era ends. You know,
But is there any difference about the customer quality before and after COVID?
for sure, for sure. I think we are currently about 2 years after COVID, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think the buying power of the customers.
Sorry, there's no sound. I think it's lagging.
Hello.
Okay, okay.
Okay. I think uh, the buying power of the customers is decreasing. It's not the same like pre-COVID. That's the harder part because we are mainly in Bali. We are mainly one local travel agency can receive around 5,000 to 7. 7,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
But for now, we are only receiving like 3,000, 2,000 a month,
Okay.
2,000 customer a month. So their buying power is not that good anymore.
So the volume of the customers is like decreasing, right?
Yeah. The volume is decreasing.
Okay.
Not
Next
as
question, the last question. What advice
mm,
would you give to an international business student like us, like me, in doing the global business? Like what do I need to know?
the most important part
Yeah.
that you need to know. You have to learn the language first,
Okay.
and then the culture, because
Mm-hmm.
uh, when we are handling the Chinese market and the European market, it's not the same. The treatment is different. Like when we are receiving the Chinese customer, like they like to drink, they like to sing karaoke and so on. But the European, they are not like that.
Yeah.
And the habits and the etiquette, it's not different. Like when we are meeting the Chinese people, they are concerned that who to sit and the position of sitting and who is facing the door and who is
Mm-hmm.
paying. It's a little detail, but it's important for them.
Mm-hmm.
So the most important part is you have to learn the language and the culture first, so you can move more smoothly to uh keeping the business relationship to them.
Mm. Okay, that's it for the question. Thank you, Mr. Andrew,
Thank
for
you.
answering my question. Bye bye.
Bye, Dylan.
So the conclusion of this interview with Mr. Andrew. It is really important to maintain a good relationship between our business partners by learning their culture, habits, and language. We need always to check what's happening with our country that we do the partnership with. By little details may affect the company, like the difference of the currency. And seeking opportunities is really important. As an example, by opening the company as soon as COVID was ended, by going early makes the other competitor loses start.